This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Hello, I'm Sister Brenda Shipp, National Superintendent of Sunday School of the Original Churches of God. Highlights of Sunday School lesson. Quarter at a glance. We are starting a new quarter, March 2021. Prophet faithful to God's covenant. This quarter introduces the ministry of the Old Testament prophets. God employs people who live among Israel and Judah to be spokespeople for God, a former representative of God. The prophet has a message meant to effect social change that conforms to God's desired standards as prescribed under the law. Unit 1, Faithful Prophets, has 4 lessons drawn from Deuteronomy, Joshua, 1st and 2nd Kings that explore the reason prophets were necessary for Israel's history. Moses leads the people out of Egypt, thus fulfilling God's promise to bring the people back to Canaan. In Deuteronomy, Moses gives the people God's promise to give them prophets who will speak God's word to them. Stories about Joshua, Helder, and Elijah illustrate the fulfillment of God's promise given through Moses. Lesson 1, March 7, 2021. Moses, Prophet of Deliverance. Text, Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter, 15 through the 22nd verse. Devotional reading, Psalm 77, 11 through the 20th verse. Life often confronts us with situations that appear to offer only poor outcomes. How are we to respond when the seemingly impossible is asked of us? Following the commands of God, the people of Israel left Egypt under the leadership of a faithful prophet, Moses, who became a model for prophets to come. In HYPU, which is Holiest Young People's Union, we studied the divisions of the Old Testament, and the first 5 books of the Bible were Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The 5 books are called the Pentateuch, the books of law. There was 5 books of law, 12 books of history, 5 books of poetry, and 17 books of prophecy. But let's look at Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy means the second law, or repeated law. It records the second giving of the law by Moses as he prepared the nation to enter their promised inheritance. But Moses did more than simply repeat the law to a new generation. He applied it to their new life in the land and stressed the importance of their loving God and obeying Him from the heart. Deuteronomy 18, God's people should be a generous people. In verses 1 through 8, sharing what they have with those who serve. They should also be a separate people. Verses 9 through 14. In today's lesson, God's people must be a discerning people. Verses 15 through 22. Listening to the word, receiving it, and obeying it. Moses promises that another prophet will follow him and guides the people in how to accept or reject future prophets. A true prophet will come from the people. He will speak God's word, and his words will come true. Moses was a leader. So what is an effective leader? An effective leader is a person who gets the right things done by the right people at the right time and place. In other words, effective leaders are people of action. They dream dreams and see visions. They have aspirations, hopes, and goals. Effective leadership is judged by results. To be a successful leader, one must get things done. Simply getting things done, acting and reacting, achieving, accomplishing is not enough. One must get the right things done. The question effective leaders ask in a given situation is not what is popular, not what is convenient or comfortable. The question is, what is right? The right thing may vary with the type of leader, the kind of organization, and the demands of the situation. Whatever is determined as appropriate in a given circumstance, that is what the effective leader seeks to accomplish. The work of being an effective leader is challenging. The rewards are wonderful. A poem by Annie Johnson Flint. What God hath promised. God hath not promised skies always blue, flowers strong, pathways all our lives through. God hath not promised sun without rain, joy without sorrow, or peace without pain. But God hath promised strength for the day, rest for the labor, light for the way, grace for the trials, help from above, unfailing sympathy, undying love. May God be merciful unto us and bless us and cause his face to shine on us. Until next week, be blessed.
My